be watching the Inhuman, I swear to God, English is my first language. World of completing Crash Bash 200%. I loved a Crash Bash as a kid, but also that was because I was a child. So let's see what an adult thinks about it. Oh, it's so cute! I like the clay. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Oh, is this where I contemplate my life choices? Oh, yes. Patience, the ability to wait or to continue doing something despite difficulties, or to suffer without complaining or becoming annoyed. I don't got that. How do I acquire patience? And I'm not a doctor. Good morning. This is where I start playing Uma Musume. Ah! He's terrifying! Somebody help him with this brows!
Was as good for you as it was for me.
He's choking him out!
This is me.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
I'm dead.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
And now that I'm dead, that
That's
means
what I
I'll
said.
never have to play Crash Bash ever again.
Woo!
What? That's what this video's about? I wrote it? Well, I guess that's what I'm being forced to play then.
Do you have anything in your life that was ruined by new information? Your lovely clean eyelashes? Oops, turns
Oh yeah, there's mites on my eyelashes, and they eat them.
out they're swarming with mites all the time.
Falco, thank you. Can we get a great feed for Falco? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for 7 months. I super appreciate it.
Your lovely clean eyelashes? Oops, turns out they're swarming with mites all the time. Those tasty
Ew.
chicken nuggets? Oops,
What?
they're beaks. Your parents? Oops, not yours, you're adopted.
I am?
Tell me.
Bear in the big blue house? Just a regular
Stupid.
sized sweaty guy. Roger Moore? Dead.
Oh,
And now I have another one for you.
that's how it felt yesterday, guys. I didn't know Bruce Lee was dead, and then you guys told me, and it was actually shocking.
Crash Bash? Oops, not actually a good game. You were lied to.
What? I played it. I liked it. I played it so much that the disc broke in half. Is that a robot taking a shit?
In fairness, Crash Bash is fine under the
What?
correct circumstances, but I would go as far as to say that it is only fine. So long as you've got 2 or more friends to play with and you cut off your own air supply for 3 minutes, it's an above-average multiplayer party game featuring
It's
all of your
fun.
best friends. Rash, Croak, Tinnitus, Dingy, Cholera, Brian, Cog, and Rigid. You can call it a Mario Party clone, but I call it a Mario Party friend with benefit. There's no commitment to
Ooh,
a
dang
bigger
it, Mario
idea.
with the
You just
naturals.
pick a point and get to it. It's a quick burst of excitement without any guilt attached, and then it's never spoken about until you're feeling up for it again next week.
My point is Crash Bash isn't Mario Party, which is good for it. There
Yeah.
not any board game you've got to worry about. All of the mini games are action-based, and it doesn't take much explanation for you to jump in. You should give this a try if Mario Party isn't your thing, and you're looking for something with a little more...
Ow! Well,
It isn't a
Does he have a toxic relationship with Crash Bash? The only things that I remember that I really, really liked was there was this one mini game where you guys like would all like clog a hole, and then when you were like clogging the hole, they would have to like shoot marbles into your goal.
party. It's a bash. A Crash Bash. A Crash Bash wallop boom ting bang ding-a-ling a what punch stomp sit piss. Pick one of the 28 mini games and have
He need to drink some water.
at it. When you're in the mood for it, it's a decent time when you have friends to play with.
Well, I actually had state-mandated friends. They were called siblings, so maybe that's why I liked it, because I was the oldest and I always won. Bless you.
However,
Everything I just told you comes with a catch. Okay, a lot of catches.
If I die, I drink. Oh, he's gonna die in real life.
Catch bandicoot. If you picked this game up back in the year 2000, fresh off of the beige shelf that should be white, and expected to stick it in your Sony lid to get right into the action, you'd be quite disappointed to see that out of all 28 minigames, only 16 are available to you.
Oh, you have to unlock
which
them?
you'd think at least is a nice majority, but the truth is that it's actually 4. 4 types of minigames with 4 very slight variations on each that barely constitutes them being counted as a separate game. Do you not want to throw boxes at other players in the jungle? Then maybe you prefer a sewer but with power-ups, or a slippy ice floor with a penguin that can attack you.
Dude, honestly, I think this is my first rose-colored glasses moment because I'm re-looking at this and this game was probably shit. But I was a kid, I didn't know!
Or the floor can now be broken. In space. These aren't new minigames, and
Yeah, there's the marbles I was talking about! This also happened to me because when I was a kid for Christmas one year, my grandparents got me Devil May Cry, and the one with the guy with the blue hand. And I remember, I thought the graphics were real. Like, I thought it was the most realistic game I've ever played in my life. Then I rewatched somebody else play it, and I was like, that is not how I remembered it at all.
Dead closer to level options and variables you should be able to toggle on and off or swap between in the pause menu. So how do you unlock the other 12 games? Well, unlike many other multiplayer party games, Crash Bash features a single-player adventure mode for the lonely disappointments to their parents, or 2-player adventure if you have a sibling they didn't flush. In order for...
See? This is what I did with my sister. I mean, I didn't flush her. She's still alive, I think.
For you to unlock all 28 minigames for any crashing and or bashing you may be doing in the future, you have no choice but...
Look at the way he walks, by the way. Absolute aura farming koala. He high off that eucalyptus.
Have to go through this adventure mode. And even though that's a bit stupid and annoying for a multiplayer party game, this wouldn't and shouldn't be the end of the world. However, playing the adventure mode of Crash Bash is one of the worst things I think I've ever done in my life. Not just in video games, not just on the PS1, not just in Cash Banuka, in my entire sordid life. Not just for the adventure mode itself being boring and repetitive, but for all the additional horrific things it demands of you in order to unlock the rest of the minigames.
It's hard?
Finishing the adventure mode in Crash Bash is akin to running yourself over. And yes, I said finishing, not completing. That's another mess entirely. But considering how much bullshit you have to go through to unlock every available minigame, it's close enough to completion that it might as well be. A few years ago, I even streamed myself doing it, and it went really well.
I got the power up here that sets everyone on fire. That's fun. Wait for it. That is Cortex.
That is so OP, by the way. You just stop everybody from playing in a physics-based game. I would actually lose my mind if a bot spammed that 900 times.
Oh, one more kick. No! Oh, can you... You bloody ill-fitting wristwatch. Okay, bumpy, very bumpy. I'm out. Oh,
Dude, and that all caps fail is wild. I probably would have cried.
shit, I'm gone. Bye, everybody. I jumped over it. Got it, no! Do what you want, because a pirate is free.
You are a pirate.
All you have to
Yeah, I didn't know the lyrics got patched. My bad.
do is look up Crash Bash speedrun attempts on YouTube, and you'll see exactly how bad it is. There's a reason that most of the speed...
That was like the most contained rage I have ever seen in my life.
Speedrun world records have differences between each other, not by milliseconds or seconds, but by minutes.
By the way, don't be mistaken. I'm the Cash Banuka Bingo Birthday Big Bang Boil Boy. I know that there are cheat codes in this game to unlock everything right off the bat.
Okay.
But Uno, they only work on the European release.
What?
And
America sucks! Wait, so did I really unlock all this shit as a kid? There's no way I had that dedication. I was dedicated to no sports. Nothing. How would I have gone through every single minigame?
2, they only work on the original Black Label European release,
What?
not the Greatest Hits Platinum release, which I have here.
Hey, that's what my game box looked like. I have no idea how it got that destroyed, but it was actually broken in pieces.
And now I don't.
If you have any other copy of Crash Bash, American, Japanese, whatever, all of those cheat websites are as useful to you as an arse with a smaller arse on it. Do you want to unlock the Dante's Dash minigame? Collect 27 trophies.
Oh my god. Wait, what was the name of that cheat engine that people used to use on the DS? Game Shark? We need that!
And how do we do that? By beating every level in the game. Gee, thanks for the cheats game facts. I sure hope nobody misreads the Q in your website name. By the
Oh yeah, action replay.
way, did I ever tell you I got my stationery from Penn Island? Fair enough, I guess you could use any
I love Penn Island! Don't clip that.
emulation, but first of all, when this game came out, it wasn't very common or easy. Even if it was possible, getting it to work with local multiplayer would be even more difficult, and emulation or not, it's still not an excuse to me because this was how the game was originally made, designed, and sold on the shelves. So in short, the only ways to enjoy this multiplayer party game immediately as a multiplayer party game, you either force yourself to enjoy just playing 4 variations of 4 minigames, get a region-compatible console, and then the original European Black Label release to cheat, or you hate yourself. And I'm privy to a little
You're
bit
a
of hating
child.
myself, so that's what I'm doing. I'd rather do that than admit I'm a European. All right, then. Here we go.
Well, if he's European, I'm a poopin', I guess.
Go again. Lovely to see you. Crash 'em, bash 'em. You know, it's been so long, I forgot that it even warns you on the front about its stress level and how it will affect you. 3+ fingernails that will fall off.
Who is that? Get him in Fortnite right now.
You've got to love this text here with the quotes as well. Available winter 2001. Yeah, it's available winter 2001.
But I do miss getting physical games, and then you could take out like the brochure on the way home after you cried and convinced your mommy to buy you the game. Then you flip through it and you think about all the fun you're gonna have.
Your flight will be leaving at 1:30. I love you. Forever. Wanna bash with Crash?
Is he my ex?
Well, I didn't really think about it, but now that you mention it.
Part 1. The first part. The game opens up with the sound you hear when it's more than a fart.
Uh-oh, I shit myself.
A Universal Interactive Studios production.
Why does he sound possessed? I don't remember him sounding this evil.
Is this
You will only like this game if you are below the age of 12 years old.
voiceover very unfitting for a party game about an orange rat? Surprisingly, no it isn't. Alright, time to create my save file. My name is Tramp, and for this game I usually pick Tiny as my main because he's actually quite big, and that's funny, but for the sake of being different, I'll...
I always started picking Tiny in the Crash Team Racing game because he was OP. Do the Crash Whoa. Whoa! That was pretty good! I still got it!
pick Koala Kong, partly because he has the same stats as Tiny, and partly because I've never seen anybody so proudly celebrate standing in their own urine.
Kong wins.
He's standing in public like he pissed his pants. Who pissed my pants? I didn't do that.
Here we have the opening cutscene, and the story is about good and evil and... So, when do you start to play? Well, if you stop being so impatient, I'll tell you.
Oh.
Even the damn manual is hell-bent on not giving you anything. You exist to be read for information. Why are you keeping me from the information? Do I have to unlock it
Probably.
in the game?
You have to read the 5 previous pages and take a small test. And then after you're done with the test, you can continue.
Do I have to unlock the rest of the book?
Yeah.
In the game. So in order to illustrate to you just how bad this game is for unlocking everything, I figured it would make sense to walk you through the adventure step by step with me so I can explain it and you can experience secondhand embarrassment over the fact that I'm doing this and I turned 30 this year. Minigame...
It's coming for me too. I'm 28. Ha ha ha.
One is Crash Ball. Basically, it's 4-way Pong, and you can kick the balls back with the pink box button. As soon as I
one's kinda
began,
fun.
the very first thing that happened in the entire game for me was this.
Go.
Is it broken? I remember this game being broken.
Now, believe it or not, in hindsight, that
Also, why does Crash look like Hero Brian? Actually, no, right here he looks like he's frowning. Look at how sad he He's literally about to catch the ball. Whoa. Whoa.
Was the worst part of the game for me.
Oh, wait, no. This Crash says, regular Crash says, whoa. And he says, W-O-E, whoa.
Because it was the very first thing I saw, and it lulled me into a false sense of hope that the rest of the game would be like that. The minigame itself is fun enough, and within only a couple of minutes, we've won our first match.
Yeah!
And then we have to do it again.
Yep.
But I won.
Okay, right, here's how it goes. For every minigame, all of them that you're about to see, in order to get the basic trophy to beat it, and in the case of the locked minigames, unlock them for multiplayer, you have to win the minigame 3 times in that session. You don't have to do it in a row, but you have to do it 3 times every time. And even though this is just the first minigame, you feel that sting as soon as you win the second round and realize how much time it actually took you to win both of those rounds, and then have to go through it all again for a third. And God forbid you lose an attempt and have to throw another attempt in there to waste more of your time.
This speedrun must suck. This is how they torture prisoners of war. Yeah, go play Crash Match. 200%. You got it. You got
Also,
it.
just noticed, what is that ridiculous dark chocolate shard sticking out of Kong's head? Is that supposed to be hair?
I think it's a hat.
Hi. What's that? My pet bear finally came back from Vietnam. He was a little late to the fighting. Yep, sounds like him. Classic bear. Oh no, he didn't come back unharmed? What do you mean he's got shrapnel stuck in his head? But I'm looking at him right now. That can't be shrapnel. Shrapnel isn't the same shape as a kite.
What is that? Is it? His whole tessellation.
Hello, I'm Spots! Yes, you are.
Wait, who is this? I've never seen him before.
How are you doing?
Well, I...
Don't care. I've hit the big time now. Look, I've landed a sponsor with North Face.
Spons, that's not North Face.
But how will I have money?
Well, luckily enough, I already had a sponsor lined up for you, and this video has been sponsored by War Thunder.
I don't want them. What? I want North Face.
You can't have North Face.
War Thunder aren't as cool as North Face.
I don't care what
Aw.
you think. I had to pull a lot of strings to get this, and you're going to like it.
No amount of money could make me do it.
War Thunder is one of the deepest and most immersive vehicle combat games ever made.
Every time I see a wild sponsor, I say this every time. I think about the person who made the sponsorship sending it to be approved. And the person behind the computer going, what the hell is this?
Giving you access to over 2,500 tanks, planes, ships, and helicopters to take control of from 10 major nations, ranging from 1920s armored cars to stealth fighters of our modern day. And with the intense combat, stunningly detailed graphics, and authentic sound effects, you'll truly feel like you're behind the wheel in a real war. But where real war isn't fun, this is. And I really love how meticulous the damage system is, giving you the most accurate and specific damage reports to components and weapons that don't only have a visual effect, but a gameplay effect too. Made even better with the X-ray viewer, letting you get impressively close to the abject horror of what is actually going on. If
There's people in there? I thought they were just entities like Transformers.
you love scrupulous attention to detail in interactive electronic military history, then War Thunder is the game for you. And you can join the worldwide PvP community of over 70 million other players right now with the link below this video in the description and the pinned comment. For a limited time, everyone that uses my link will also get access to a massive bonus pack that is so big, it's the size of a tank. If you're a new player or haven't played the game for at least 6 months, all of this could be yours. Multiple premium vehicles, an exclusive vehicle decorator, 7 days of premium account access, and 100,000 silver lions. Which I am very happy about, because whenever I go to the zoo just to see one lion, it runs away. If all of this wasn't enough, hang on, wait, there's more? Oh, stop. The game is available right now on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox for free. Yes, you heard me. All of that great stuff I just showed you for free. How could they do this? They must have shell shock. Thank you once Thanks again to War Thunder for the sponsor, and...
Okay.
I would have killed to have that sponsor. Can't believe the attitude on him. Bloody millennials.
The minigame after this is Polar Panic, another decent minigame where you each have to waddle around on the backs of polar bears while you press square to give everybody directions to the tour of the Ocean Gate submarine. It's very
How does he hold all of that weight? Like, these are some big mother suckers. I mean, except Tiny. He's tiny, right?
very simple shit, but at least there's a drone in there spitting power-ups at you to keep things interesting. You can be big, you can be small, you can be electrocuted on the ice. Or my favorite one, you can be flattened by a collection of 500 irritable bowel syndromes. Win 3 times and on to the next level. At this point, I was having a decent enough time. Yeah, you know, on level 2. Pretty low bar, and I was ready for whatever could possibly be next, especially with the back of the box promising I could shove your enemies off the edge into the abyss,
Oh my god, they get Yu-Gi-Oh'd.
smack them, kick them, blow them up, and win, win, win!
Just jumping around on a pogo stick, bouncing on it, Dio. All that build-up for what?
Well, this is boring. Then on to minigame 4, Jungle Bash, which I personally feel right at home in, seeing as it's been a very long time since I've played this game, and yet I was easily able to blow up Dingodile and Crash with the same box to kill them at the same time, and the game was not expecting me to do something so great because Dingodile didn't even fall down when he lost all his health and looked right at me as if to say, how the hell did you do that? Before
He leveled iframes. He playing DS still.
suddenly dying. After all 3 wins of 4 minigames, you have all 4 trophies you need for the first boss fight against Papu Papu.
Please be more interesting than the actual Crash boss fights.
Everybody's favorite pregnant tribalman. And like in every other appearance he's ever had in any Crash game, he's very easy and doesn't bother moving. Yeah.
Dude, he just threw TNT at the baby. That was not very nice.
Yes, I know that in Crash Team Racing he does move, but that doesn't count because he's driving in a cart, which means he's sitting down. My point is he's a lazy piece of shit.
Before you can continue, you must first meet an old friend.
Okay, so we made it through the first warp room and the first 1/7 of all the mini-games, and it only took 19 minutes. Granted, if you remove all of the replays I had to do to win each of the games 3 times, then 12 minutes of that was just replaying the same things over and over again, but overall, this was pretty fun and welcoming. Like a nice grandma. On to Warp Room 2, and we have Pong again. But it's different this time, I promise, because you have a magnet and it's all brown. After that is the polar bears again.
Isn't this a game in Mario Party? I think I remember this being in Mario Party.
Again, but it's different this time, I promise, because the platform tilts. After that is the pogo sticks again, but it's different this time, I promise, because you don't have score boxes to bank your colored tiles anymore, and you have to make a square instead. After
They look like those little candies that you would peel up and then put on your tongue and then almost choke on them and then eat them again because it came back up and you don't want to waste it.
that is the fighting arena again. But it's different this time, I promise.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this is
tiles?
already ridiculous. Not only are we replaying the same mini-games from Warp Room 1, but with minimal changes, and winning them all another 3 times each, but these are all of the mini-games available to you at the start of the game in multiplayer mode anyway. So if you and your friends played that mode first, got sick of all of these mini-games, and then thought, hey, I'm going to do adventure mode to try unlocking the rest, and then got to this point of the adventure mode, this is where your fight or flight would kick in. And I know what mine is doing.
What is that bag? Is he Canadian? Is that milk? He's
I mean, just
efficient.
look at this for the battle technique section of the manual. To get you on your way, here are the basic objectives and controls for the first few arenas. Yeah, I know what you're doing. How about we reword that? To get you on your way, here are the controls for basically the only games we have. Sorry. Luckily though, after our 20th replay of the same original 4 base minigames, we are finally treated to our first brand new game mode and 5th minigame type overall. Tank Wars. This is Desert Fox.
I remember this
a
one,
game
so I
of
guess I
moving on a
unlocked it.
grid, changing your aim with the shoulder buttons, firing at each other, and using mines to cause damage across rows and columns.
It's just spam off. It's like whoever can spam the fastest wins.
And yes, we have to win another 3 times again to get the trophy and unlock it for the multiplayer, but it's not all that bad. We only have another 11 minigames left to unlock.
Oh my
Sure,
god!
it took us just under 44 minutes and 15 seconds to reach this minigame and beat it to unlock it, but we are well on our way, I'm sure. On to the second Warp Room
Terminator.
boss we go, and... What? 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 Oh.
It crashed.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. 6
Oh.
gems, 3 crystals? What? You gotta go back?
Here's the deal. You don't only have to get trophies in order to unlock the rest of the adventure mode and therefore the rest of the games for multiplayer.
You have to win as fast as possible? I don't think I was this cracked as a kid.
Because Cram Bam also has gems and crystals to get for each minigame on top of them. And this is where it all starts
How?
getting a little twatty, because you're not only replaying the same minigames again, but you're also replaying them with added impairments that do nothing to the minigames
it is
except
a speed
debilitate
run.
you and no other players.
Dude, so basically what you would have to do to do all of these Clam Slam minigames is that you just have to play with 3 other actual humans and then hope that they throw in order to give you the requirements needed to continue on. So that means you need to know 3 people who want to be tortured for over an hour. Because if you're relying on bots, you might be cooked.
The gems, most of the time it's the exact same minigame again, but you have less time to win, or less health points, or more points than everybody else to subtract down to 0 to end the game. And that can come with its own problems. But then the crystals swing its massive wang around the corner and give you the same minigame once again, but this time with an added hazard or one new stipulation that deliberately handicaps you and nobody else.
Wow.
In fairness, these challenges only require you to finish them one time and then it's over. But either way, it's still asking you to replay the same minigame again, which is likely already a variation of the same game from earlier that you already beat 3 times to get the trophy in the first place, and it's 10 times harder. But
Are they just trying to pad the game out with like a bunch of random stuff using the same assets so people play the game for longer, but then the developers don't realize that people actually don't want to sit there and do the same thing over and over and over again, and they're bored and they're gonna throw the game away, but I didn't because I was like 10 years old?
Just humor me for a second and put all of that to one side. I'll go into more depth later so you can truly understand how much of a baffling problem this all is, but for now, let's just keep looking at all of the base minigames up until the final boss, ignoring all of the unlock requirements.
Okay.
Boss 2 is the Bearminator, a name in reference to the 1984 film The Terminator,
I have never seen The Terminator! I should watch it!
which is named as such for it is about a villain that can terminate, so therefore the reference doesn't work since bearminating isn't a thing. The next minigame is more Pong, except this time you find force fields that push the balls away for a bit, and every so often Engine appears after drinking too much engine and starts spitting everywhere randomly in order to be more relatable to the youth. Minigame
Normally, the way I smell repels others, so I think I could have that minigame go pretty good for me.
Game 11 is Melt Panic. More polar bears, except now the stage shrinks gradually.
Okay. Oh. I was gonna say, that could like speed up the minigame a little bit. Then I saw him staring at this bagel and I have no idea where this is going. Does he like Legos? Those are cool. No schmear? Oh, okay, we're doing it the Five Guys grilled cheese method.
After this is even more pogo sticks, with the only difference being Ripperoo leaving TNT boxes all over the place to stun you if you're anywhere near them. And after this is Snow Bash, which is even more box throwing fighting, but now on slippery ice and with a penguin that does a really good impression of Hurricane Katrina, except nobody died. What's that?
So stupid. I think my dad was in Hurricane Katrina. Should I text him and ask? I was like, oh, do you remember that?
Avoid waking the penguin? That's really good advice. It'll just make the match harder for everyone if we do that, so I'll make sure to— Oh, of course you're gonna do it on purpose, because you're a bloody virgin! Next minigame is another tank game, but this time the stage changes layout sometimes, making the row and column mines useless since you have no idea what the stage is going to do next, and I like that. It's my favorite part of the whole game. And then finally, at minigame 15, we have our 6th different type of original new minigame, Crash
Maybe I didn't get
Dash.
this far.
A micro machine
No. Okay, now this is gonna be entirely new to me because I don't think my child brain actually unlocked all of the minigames. I thought there were like 4.
child race going around in a circle with a boost gauge and missile power-ups to stop everyone else from
I did
going
not
around
do
in a
this.
circle. This one isn't too bad, but the power-ups and other races are there to just distract you from remembering that all you're doing is going around in a circle. Then at the end of Warp Room 3 is a tank boss fight against the Komodo brothers in a more open arena and multiple phases of different guns to get through before finally taking them head on. It's the hardest boss so far, so much to the point that they give you a checkpoint after the gun fortress part of the fight. So
Yeah, don't in like normal Crash, don't they take like 2 seconds top to just like top?
So does that mean the game will ease up on you from now on? Maybe. Off to Warp Room 4 and minigame 16. Pong again, but you're in the sky.
I mean,
Ooh, it moved. Next
I
minigame
guess?
is Manic Panic. Polar bears. Oh, look, a ball. The next minigame is
Polar bear
something
soup.
padlock. Can you guess what kind of padlock it is? Yes,
big?
that's right.
Oh.
A shed. Minigame 19 is then another box fighting one with Drain Bash so that you can bash, crash, and crash bash for the PlayStation 1. After that,
But it better have that awesome sewer crash like OST. That would go nuts.
there's even more tank battles, but now with free moving analog controls in an open arena with a podium in the center. It's all the same shit, honestly, but now you have to
Yeah.
be extra careful to watch out for the only known weakness of tanks.
A
A
helicopter?
wooden face. And after
Oh.
this, we have Toxic Dash, the exact same circle race as Dot Dash, but now with explosive barrels and a gooey man that gets in the way and then throws his kids at you. Oh,
Wait, that's the Pooh guy from Conkers. What is his name? The Mighty Pooh? But he's Mighty Green guy?
my crump, it's minigame 22, and finally another new original minigame type. Ring, ding, ding, ring, rang, dug, dong. A game where you have to run around in a clock tower, popping balloons of your own color while hitting black balloons and crates for different power-ups
I
to
never
help you
played this.
further pop your own balloons. And then to cap the whole adventure off is the final boss fight against Nitrous Oxide. A two-phase fight where you start by following him awkwardly silently through space.
Is this just a driver's test? When do we get to the parallel park section?
And then end with another game of Pog. Screw you.
This feels intimate, like it's just you and him. Staring him in the eye, slanging balls back and forth.
You. What is this? What? How are you? What? How are you this good? How is anybody supposed to do this?
He's amazing!
Okay, great. We rolled the credits, we finished the adventure mode, and after
Okay.
you beat the final boss, the rest of the multiplayer games all unlock for you on the main menu.
okay.
Which makes sense when I say that, doesn't it?
Yeah. No. Now I'm confused. I feel like I said the wrong answer on the test.
And I know it feels like I condensed a lot of that journey, but trust me, it took a while. In
It's
fact,
an iPhone
going back to
dog?
gems and crystals, in order to fight the final boss and finish the game, you need all previous 22 trophies on top of 15 gems and 12
Okay.
crystals. And
Damn.
assuming you don't quit any of the minigames once you start, that means you'll be seeing 2 loading screens for each of those required collectibles and bosses. One for loading in and one for loading out. The short
That must add so much time. I wonder what the speedrun does, like if it cuts all the loading time out.
Fastest loading screens for me lasted around 6 seconds, while the
Yeah.
longest lasted around 15, leaving us with an average of
Damn!
10.5 seconds per loading screen. 22 trophies, 15 gems, 12 crystals, and 4
Oh
bosses is
my
53 total
God!
level entries. Times that by 2 for each loading screen you'll see per level, leaves us with 106 loading screens. And timing that by 10.5 seconds leaves us with 18 minutes and 33
What?
seconds total of
This was like when I used to speedrun Breath of the Wild before the Switch 2. Those loading screens were agonizing.
you just listening to
Okay, I do like the song though. And I like the cover.
waiting for the games and bosses to begin and end.
Oh, I thought he was rolling out Bill Nye. Nice
I'm
outfit.
the cool teacher.
Yeah, where's
You
Bill
can tell
Nye?
I'm cool because my cap is on the wrong
Whoa!
way.
Now do a kickflip. Oh, and now he's badass.
So, you decided to call the principal a whore?
Now, I
Well, why was she being one?
decided to go for all 22 trophies, gems, and crystals before the final boss, which is admittedly my own fault. So because of that, I'm gonna go easy on Crash Bash, and I'm going to be charitable. I love being charitable. Charity's great. Starving kids? Love them. Thumbs up. So just...
Are you gonna help him
For
out?
the sake of fairness, if I took all of the footage I recorded for this game and arranged all of the gem and crystal challenges in order from shortest to longest, then at an absolute minimum, 22 trophies, 15 gems, 12 crystals, and 4 bosses.
Guys, I mean this non-derogatory, but how does every man have the same handwriting? You guys all write exactly the same.
in total took me 3 hours, 4 minutes, and 11 seconds to do, which in and of itself is not a big problem. It's pretty short for an adventure mode. But when you consider the Pogo game for a second and assume that you get the trophy, gem, and crystal in all 4 variations of that same base minigame like I did, then that means out of the 5 hours, 35 minutes, and 21 seconds it took for me to get all 22 of everything and 4 bosses,
Okay.
1 hour, 6 minutes, and 5 seconds of that playtime was spent playing the same base Pogo minigame, which
Oh my god. Your legs would be so sore if you were just bouncing for an hour straight. And also, you know he's a gamer because this is like live split.
should help you come to understand just how unnecessarily dumb and repetitive that is for the sake of unlocking all the other mini-games in a minigame collection party game where all the mini-games should already be unlocked for you to play in multiplayer at the start.
This game has more padding than every bra I've ever worn.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I was just looking down at all of the comments telling me that I'm wrong. But I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
I lied.
I lied.
I lied.
You went on the internet and lied? Also, hello. It's like I'm outside of his house. No, I'm not Sniper Wolf. No!
Yes.
No, this is not all you have to do to unlock every minigame, because that would be a really shit video. Instead, after the final boss, you unlock another warp room with the final remaining 6 minigames that you need to get the trophies in to unlock for the multiplayer in this multiplayer party game. Strangely though, these remaining minigames, even though they are at the very end, offer the most amount of variety and least repeating ideas in any of the warp rooms too. Yes, level 23 is another circle race, but underwater on an oxygen-breathing poser fish.
Cute.
Level 26 is more tanks, but on the water. And level 28 is yet another circle race, but fire. However, you also...
How many times can you drive in a circle and have fun? Like, could we make a level maybe a triangle, a square? Maybe if we're feeling a little, I don't know, curious, a trapezoid?
So get level 24, drag and drop, a frantic rush around of 4 players trying to grab one of 2 gems and then throw them at a moving target while standing in a specific scoring zone. And eventually a 3rd gem appears, but by that point, I mean, who cares? Level 25, Mallet Mash, where you walk around stunning opponents, smashing mushrooms and getting more points by hitting them just before they explode.
Dude, imagine getting smashed by Tiny the Tiger. He would break every bone in your body until you turned into a liquid, and then he would drink you. That... No, I did not mean like that. I saw somebody say wood. I meant with the hammer. You guys are filthy. We got some filthy-minded mother suckers up in here.
And level 27, Keg
Oh
to
my
Boom,
God!
which even though new, is sadly one of the worst mini-games since it's just a walking simulator. And I don't mean one of those games where you just walk around and sad men read letters to you in a smelly cave. I mean it's literally a walking simulator. Walking the video game.
Don't tell him about Death Stranding.
Walk around with fire following you and hope that barrels appear to give you points. So yes, sadly there is incentive to get this far in the adventure mode because out of the 10 total minigame styles, 3 of them are unlocked in the final warp room. But it's fine, surely, because as I mentioned earlier, I was collecting all the gems and crystals in every stage as I was going along to prepare myself for the final unlocks. So now I have all 22 of everything and nothing should be unavailable to me.
Oh my god. 21? Holy shit. I'd be standing at the ocean like Eren Yeager too. This is probably worse than everything Eren went through. Did the rock come back? What was he cooking? Ow!
Hey, what was that for?
This is where I look at
My sister got a rock stuck in her head when she was a kid.
your broken leg, rip the cast off,
Okay.
and step on it. Yes.
Oh! Holy... That was so... What sort of thing? A visceral? Oh my god! I told this before, but a long time ago when I was in like middle school, I wanted to be able to get a cast so bad, and I wanted to break a bone because I've never broken a bone because I wanted everybody to sign it and tell me to get better soon. I feel like, you know how guys think about the Roman Empire? Like, every girl thinks like that. We all wanted a cast, and we all wanted people to sign it and put a smiley face.
Trophies, gems, and crystals are not the only things you need to get to unlock all of the levels for multiplayer. You also need to get gold relics. And how do you get them? Oh, you know, by playing the same games you just played all over again, but winning them another 2 times. And not only that, but you have to win them against the hardest AI opponents in the whole game. The ones they call the arena champions, who are tuned to a nanosecond's worth of coded perfection, with their main and only objective being to maim you, desecrate your pulp of a corpse, and then exorcise your ghost from even having a fraction of a chance to come back and ask them why. This
They're like task bots? They're that strong?
isn't an exaggeration either. The gem and crystal handicaps are one thing. Aw, look at you having a nice time on that swing. You're really good at it. Ha! Now you've got no arms. Try doing it now, idiot. But the relic challenges are probably the closest evidence we have to there being a higher power that doesn't love you. In every single minigame, they are not only close to unbeatable and know exactly what directions you're going to move, what action you'll perform, how to drive perfectly, and how to aim perfectly, but they also cheat. And I am not making that up.
In the crate and tank
No
levels,
way.
the stats on damage given and taken is altered between levels and challenges. Runner Pole made a spreadsheet compiling the information for them all.
I miss the speedrunning community so much, man. Like, for people who are new, I used to have a speedrunning channel, and all I would do every single day is speedrun. I love the passion that speedrunners have. Like, somebody loved or hated Crash Bash so much, they made an Excel spreadsheet. That is crazy.
After a quick glance, it's clear to see the devs were feeling particularly cruel on some of these changes.
In the polar bear stages, they get a power boost to their charges against you, including the weakest charging characters like Dingodile. In the swamp tank game, they can activate their shields more often than you.
shimmying.
In the regular tank game, they can twist their gun turret 180 degrees in the blink of an eye, while you're stuck with... In the games that involve walking around, everybody seems to be able to walk faster than you. Does everything in this footage look normal to you right now? Well, yes, it is.
He's blocking.
Until you look at the health, they have 0 health, and yet they can still play.
They're invincible? Title card. Oh, I saw somebody ask what I used to speedrun. I kind of speedrun everything. Like, I guess the ones I spent the most time on, for sure, though, were, like, DS3 and Breath of the Wild.
They're not dead, you're just crazy. Crash Bash is the only game on the PS1 that gaslights you. Do you like the idea of a force field to save your goal from balls? Tough shit if you like that, because you can never have them. The microsecond they appear, the computer players get it immediately.
They, like, immediately cha-cha slide? They're, like, programmed to just, like, automatically go for the power-up, so you basically just have to wave bye-bye and have no chance of ever being, like, superhuman.
Do you want to know why? Because they are a computer player programmed into a computer game that had to be programmed in a computer. They are literally designed to win. And every single randomly generated element of every stage means nothing to them because they know what the randomly generated element is going to do down to the line of code they were birthed from.
They pre-watched the match!
Birth? Oh no.
Oh my god, he's gonna love Twitch.tv.
I thought you were gone.
I was, but I came back because I want more money.
Spons, you can't have North Face. Besides, we cannot have another sponsor. I don't even think that's legal.
That's never stopped me before, but don't worry, this isn't a sponsor. I stole some DNA from your socks, and now I'm selling all of your clones.
Oh, so cute! Oh, he's huge! You want to hear that?
Why does it look like a loaf of bread?
Gut him.
I'm not a square.
Gut him.
What do you mean, gut him?
They're gonna rip him apart? What's in there? Oh, he's a blankie! That's so cute!
The last time I turned myself inside out, I was not this woolly.
Okay, everybody, I'm sorry to interrupt the video again, but I promise you it's only for one last time, and I also promise you that this is worth it.
So are you, like, sleeping in his guts? You're, like, snuggled up in his intestines?
because the lovely folks at Juniper, who helped me bring you the Talking Spons plush, have worked with me yet again to help bring you the brand new exclusive 2-in-1 Caddy Sleeps plush and giant blanket hoodie at Caddicarus.com. You won't see anything like this on North Face. For those who didn't know, I have a side channel called Caddy Sleeps, and every thumbnail for those videos has featured a video game character sleeping with me. I mean sleeping with a little plush version of me.
Why are they all sleeping with him? Save some for the rest of us.
A lot of you seem to really love him, and I thought about releasing a real plush of him for months, but that's boring! If I was going to do anything like that, I wanted to make it truly special and unique. And since this little guy came from the Sleeping Channel theme, I then got this mental idea of a multi-purpose sleeping plush and blanket hoodie that could only work if I was shaped like a brick. I made the right call. The hoodie itself is one size fits all. It's super soft. It has an embroidered logo. Cool. It's got feet flaps, and it costs $79.99
or £62.46 as
for
of
the British
August
people.
3rd,
Is that British? I don't know.
with free shipping worldwide. Yep, free shipping worldwide. And even better, when you're wearing
you just put him in your balls.
The hoodie, the inside out little me is sitting right on your groin. Sadly,
He's giving it the sniff test. Yeah, you're good. You probably wait like another 2 days. Yeah.
this is only available for an extremely limited time, so if you're interested, head to the merch shelf on this video or by going to Caddicarus.com right now and grab yourself one before it's gone forever. You can listen to me as you sleep, while hugging me as you sleep, while wearing me as you sleep.
Once again, these are available to buy right now at Caddicarus.com for a very limited time only, and then they'll be gone forever. So if you do decide to pick one up, thank you sincerely. You won't regret it, I promise. I mean, look at these things. You just can't regret it. They're amazing.
Dude, imagine if you could put like voice stuff inside of stuffed animals, and then like my plushie was like ha ha ha, it just laughed. But then you know how like voice boxes like slowly degrade, and then after a while it just like and then you get nightmares.
It even impressed me, and I hate myself.
Aww.
They're all made from my skin. And very warm. What was I saying about Crash Bash?
And by the way, you know how I said you have to win these twice to get the relic? And in the trophy stages, you can lose as many times as you like so long as you end up winning 3 times before anybody else does? Well, on the relic challenges, you have to win twice in a row.
What?
If you win once and then lose, you have to start your winning streak all over again and win twice in a row all over again.
I get gamer's anxiety. I don't know if anybody else does. This used to happen to me a lot in League of Legends. But like if I'm doing something that I know is high stakes, I feel like I'm gonna puke, and then I start sweating, and then I feel cold, and then I'm just like I feel like that would happen to me on round 2.
Excuse me. By the way, if you want to get all 28 trophies to unlock every minigame for multiplayer in this multiplayer party game, you need to beat all 4 bosses and grab a total of 25 gems, 23 crystals, and 21 gold relics on top of the 28 trophies.
And a partridge in a pear tree? What's left?
21 out of 28 total minigames need to be won twice in a row against the super-powered godlike reflex cheating AI to unlock every game for multiplayer, which is the only reason you'd ever pick this game up to begin with. Considering 16 of the total 28 games are basically the same thing as well.
Yeah, and then like if you unlock all the games here, nobody's gonna want to even play them with you because you're so cracked out of your mind by playing against cheater AI that you can't even have a casual experience with friends anymore. You will know every exploit, every way to win, because you had to learn it.
How many times do you think you'll be playing Pog? And also, tying counts as a failure. So if you tie on your second attempt after winning the first one, you don't get a chance to go for the second attempt again. You just start all over to try and win twice in a row all over again. Why is there even a 5th warp room after the credits roll when there isn't a 5th boss at the end of it, and yet all of the levels in that warp room feature the most variety of brand new original games for multiplayer that need the most amount of grinding to unlock for no reason? I don't know. This is the same game that prints the front cover of itself next to precautions and a health warning.
This isn't even including the loading screens.
Health warning will waste hours and days of your life, and you will not get it back.
Either. In order for you to unlock every available multiplayer party game
In this multiplayer party game, you need 28 trophies, 25 gems, 23 crystals, 21 gold relics, and 4 bosses. Which means, assuming that you go in and come out of each level only one time, that's 101 level entrances and exits.
Into loading
totaling to
screens!
202 load screens. Times that 202 load screens by the 10.5-second average time that they last, and that means that you'll be spending that much time of loading. How much is that?
54 minutes. Oh.
And 21 seconds.
I can't do math. I grew up in
35
Texas.
minutes and 21 seconds of watching and listening to just to unlock all of the multiplayer games for multiplayer in this multiplayer game.
And one of the worst parts for me is that there are no bonus levels.
What?
You can't have a Crash game without bonus levels.
The salt is multiplying. He's sitting on his salt mine.
Levels. That's like me having a Crash Bandicoot video without a Caddicarus bounds round.
What was that?
This isn't a bonus platform.
What is it?
It's a calculator.
And not even a, what are they called? Texas Instruments? TI-84? We're doing this on the Office Max?
Wait, does that mean...
I knew it!
It's my arch nemesis, calculator face. What are you doing here?
Why did you give me life, Jim? I know only pain.
What? You broke...
Yeah, if this was my calculator, you're right. He would be...
80085. Why do I always have to say boobs? Please help me.
broke into my house to kidnap my children?
Why can't I die?
I should have known better than to trust a calculator. I'll get you for this, calculator face.
Please kill me. Also, 2 times 3 is 6.
I do have to address the fact that, yes, I am talking about all of this assuming you're getting all 28 trophies, gems, crystals, and gold relics, even though technically you don't need all of them. But let's be realistic. If you've never played this game before and get to a new warp room and then see you haven't got enough of the things that you need,
I'm
how are you
punching
supposed
somebody.
to know which gems, crystals, and gold relics are the easiest to get so you don't waste your time?
Maybe this is back in the day when you used to be able to call somebody and ask for help. Am I too old, or do you guys remember that?
How do you know how many you'll possibly need for the future warp rooms? Whatever the case, you'll never know unless you either get all of them just to be safe, or waste a lot of time and potentially even more replays and loading screens trying to figure out which ones are even worth bothering to fight for. It's not good no matter what way you look at it, like an ugly baby. And going back to the crystals for a second, some of these are the absolute armpits, unshaved and unwashed. Not all of them are completely horrible, but taking that aside, they are still replays of the same games again and are all designed to be unfair. And I say it's unfair not just because of the curses leveled onto you and nobody else, but also because that gold relic AI I just talked about, they tend to use it in the gem and crystal challenges too. It isn't quite as ruthless, but it's still much nastier than the trophy challenges, to the point where you don't even think the game is working properly.
You know, now that I think about it, maybe I do have an intense fear of failure because I played this game so much and I probably saw fail in my dreams when I was going to sleep. Why is it so large?
You have to deal with whatever crippling effect you have on top of some of the worst AI ganging I've ever seen in a video game. These examples are not from the Gold Relic Arena Champion challenges. They're from the apparently slightly easier gems and crystals.
Look,
at
that's the
this
spamming I
attempt
was
for the
talking
Toxic
about.
Dash Crystal. Not only are you dealing with the fact that every time you fall off the edge, you lose 80% of your speed for 5 seconds,
Oh my
but also with the most
God!
aggressive skanks on the PS1 that all banded together to knock me off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
How did he get Mario Kart and not even in Mario Kart?
times in a row. There was nothing I could do. The game was Geppetto and I was the son he made who couldn't tell him no, please stop. Some of the crystal rules are completely logical, like win without the ability to pick up the crates, or score the most points in one go to win. And then some of them are just nebulous guesswork, like defeat your opponents while avoiding the water perils, or are downright biblical, like beware the idol's wrath.
What does he want with me? Leave me alone. I am nothing but a sinner.
What the hell does that mean?
I
Is
don't
this a
know.
threat? Win with the handicap of slippy shoes?
We're on ice!
Crystal on Melt Panic took me 22 attempts. I failed this 21 times.
Wow.
You have to play the game without the ability to save yourself from falling off the edge, which is not only an essential mechanic in the polar bear stages, but the AI also charge into you harder.
I mean, I guess it's No Nut November, so I mean, no edging. That's pretty easy.
On top of ganging up on you like it's a school playground and you're a ginger kid. And as for the gems, most if not all of them are identical to the trophy challenges that are already close to identical to many other mini-games in the adventure already, so you're essentially playing a copy of a copy, but also much harder. The gems are basically the reduced time limit challenges or the less health challenges, and in general are not as hard as the crystal challenges because they're the next difficulty up from the trophies, and there's minimal added dump on top of that. But with
Yeah.
some of the mini-games, the strict time limits and less health can actually be more of a detriment to you because of how those games are designed in the first place and makes those gems sometimes harder to get than the supposedly extra hard crystals. Take Drain Bash. The gem for that took me 14 minutes and 20 attempts to get it right because of just how difficult it is to knock everybody else out in less than a minute.
Dude, the speedrun, I know I keep talking about the speedrun, I'm so sorry. The speedrun for this game must be crazy. They either have to be so cracked or just like run the game all day, every day to get lucky.
However, comparing that to the apparently harder crystal challenge, that only took me just over 4 minutes and only 3 attempts because you have way more time to make mistakes and also only have to worry about being careful how you open the crates. What do you mean? Crystal for Swamp Fox, 4 attempts, 3 minutes. Because it's the exact same thing as the trophy, but with harder AI, and you're also being followed around by a pissy little torpedo. But
I feel like one of the little things they're gonna make you do is like, at the end, you have to be thankful for your win to get the crystal. And there's like a microphone inside of the controller, and if it doesn't hear you go, yippee, I won, finally! They're like, please and thank you. Please and thank you.
the gem that only changes the time limit from 90 seconds to 40, 17 attempts, and 11 minutes. Jungle Fox Crystal, win the match, harder AI, but now the totem pole in the middle spits projectiles at you. First
Okay.
attempt, 1 minute. Jungle Fox Gem, cutting the time limit to win in half, 8 attempts and 6 minutes. And this isn't including the gem challenges that omit vital information or outright lie to you. For the Ring Ding Gem Deng, the gem forces you to decrease your score to 0 before everybody else, but also starts you off with more points than everybody else.
Oh my god! Dude, this is infuriating. How did anybody play this game all the way through who wasn't just addicted to Crash?
Which isn't mentioned in the rules. For the Dot Dash Gem, how do you...
Oh! I just thought about how this is a money printer! What if the game is unnecessarily difficult and annoying because this was in the era of renting video games? So people would just be so pissed, then they would rent the game for longer, so that way they could beat the levels and it prints money!
like the sound of winning it with 30 seconds less time than usual, but also you have to clear 2 more laps than everybody else because we just forgot to mention that part. Sorry. Make sure you don't get hit by the missiles that you can't control and get juggled off multiple times in a row by everyone else that you can't control, and if you fall off more than twice, you don't have enough time to win anyway. Bye.
Because of this wildly varying, inconsistent difficulty, it took me 2 hours and 8 minutes to get all the gems and 1 hour 49 minutes to get all the crystals. When going for all 28 gems, that was a total of about 120 attempts, including the ones I did win, averaging at about 4 retries per gem on average, or 4 minutes and 30 seconds per gem average. On the crystal end, it was about 96 attempts in total, including the ones I did win, averaging at about 3 retries per average, or 3 minutes and 53 seconds per crystal on average. When it comes to the near impossible gold relics, that took me a total of 3 hours, 51 minutes and 28 seconds to get all of them.
Guys, I have the world's dumbest question. Does that mean boy or girl? Or relic?
Nearly 4 hours of replaying the same 28 mini-games, but winning them twice in a row against deliberately cheating, near impossible AI. So, in total, that was 206 attempts to get all of those relics, including the ones I did win, averaging out at about 7 retries per stage on average, or an average of 8 minutes and 16 seconds per gold relic.
Okay.
Oh, so that's why I was given a calculator.
Yes, again, I know. I didn't need to get all 28 gems, crystals, and relics to unlock every game for multiplayer, but as I already explained, you'll never know which are worth attempting or going for in comparison to the others until you've already spent so much time attempting each of them to begin with. So it doesn't save any time to assume that you just need all of them and go for all of them as soon as you can. Yeah, I suppose you could look it up on the internet, but then think about what you're defending. You're saying that you have to look up which games are easier or harder on the internet for a multiplayer party game, which should already have all of the multiplayer party games unlocked in the multiplayer party game. However, despite all of this, I'm gonna give Crash One Out, Bash One Out the benefit of the doubt. If I take my playthrough of all the trophies and bosses and then add them to the gem, crystal, and gold relic challenges listed in order from shortest to longest, in order for my personal playthrough to get the required 28 trophies, 4 bosses, 25 gems, 23 crystals, and 21 gold relics to unlock every possible mini-game, that would have taken me an absolute minimum of 7 hours, 1 minute, and 1 second.
What the hell? And you know other games are way more worth 7 hours of your time. What if you have What if you have kids? What if you have responsibilities?
Not to even complete the game, but to unlock all available minigames to play with your friends who likely hate you now since you spent 7 hours indoors playing Crash Bash in order to unlock everything, therefore you never want to play the game again, and the sight of another pogo stick triggers you to grab a trench coat and a shotgun. And I'm not complaining about a 7-hour adventure mode to unlock everything in a game. I'm complaining about a 7-hour adventure mode to unlock everything in a multiplayer party that is also 7 hours of replaying slight variations of the same 10 base minigame types, which ultimately are all mediocre at best. 7 hours of mid-tier Mario Party on your own, or 7 hours of Sonic Shuffle. Again,
what is that? I have never heard of that game before. Why are they all so adorable? My favorite Sonic is whenever he's tiny and chunky. I hate when they start stretching out characters. I also love Chunky Pikachu. I love a good chunk.
Again, that 7 hours is just me being generous and organizing all my footage for the challenges from shortest to longest length. If you choose to get all 28 of everything as you go just to be safe, do you want to know how long that took me? I'll tell you. 10 hours, 49 minutes, and 10 seconds. My God. Consider once again the Pogo minigame. In my complete 10 hours, 49 minutes, and 10 seconds save file, 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 37 seconds of that was just replaying slight variations and challenges of the exact same Pogo game.
I would have to be on at least 5 illegal substances to be able to do this.
Including victories, I attempted this basic idea 38 times.
Oh my God! What if what you did was the first playthrough, you play sober. Then you go through it, and every single time you have to reattempt, you do a different drug. And see how it affects your gameplay in your brain. That would make it more interesting, I think.
38 matches of this knobbing pogo stick. Don't forget either, the boss fights, they're just variations of the same mini games as well. Tanks, fighting, polar bear, Pong. Even they're not original. With all of the inane repetition you have to go through, you'd think that the simplest thing the game could do is repeat its own introductory cutscene into a paragraph of the manual that comes with it. But even then, I guess the writer of the book couldn't even bear to boot up the game and watch the first thing that you see, because they wrote that Aku Aku summons Tiny Tiger and Dingadal immediately because he persuaded them to fight for the good guys, but that's not what happened, because what actually happens is that Aku Aku is a basement-dwelling neckbeard who doesn't have any friends other than a brother and sister he lives with, and so begged Uka Uka to give him Tiny and Dingadal, because otherwise, this isn't fair. I want a lollipop and Daddy took my Xbox away. There are a few things in life worth getting angry about. Inequality.
Tips. Taxes. And how I don't have a cat anime girlfriend in real life.
Discrimination.
Oh, okay, that's a little more important.
Political corruption. And the fact that the opening cutscene of Crash Bash for the PS1 is written down wrong in its own manual. Gang!
Oh, hi, yeah, what's up?
I am going to do a big shit on you.
Yay, goody.
Cat Bash?
See, everyone? Just remember that whenever you say Crash Bash is good, You are defending a scat fetishist.
Do not watch the last video we reacted to that he made. I am not into this. I am literally not into this shit.
Stop supporting degeneracy now and donate your whole bank to www.don'tshowmeyourbrown.com. Donate today and receive our New York Times bestseller, Everybody Poops, but Not Like That.
Yeah.
And a free plug.
By the way,
Can I at least have one with like a foxtail or something?
it's not just the 7 to 10 hours of repeating the same 10 base minigames at gradually harder difficulties that's a problem on its own. It's because the minigame challenges themselves are mostly completely up to chance. Wanna know why? Because it's a multiplayer party game. Chance is part of the fun with this kind of game, and skill is just a bonus that'll only help occasionally. You don't want to play a party game where you just steamroll everyone all of the time after a potential 10 hours of practice, but that in itself is the problem. Because this is a single-player mode of this kind of game that by design does have a lot of luck elements. So all of the retries you'd have to do are most of the time completely out of your control. You want to play a game to make you bitter? You play Mary, Kate, and Crashly. It is a joke, especially in the Gem, Crystal, and Relic challenges when you're dealing with luck on top of AI tuned to a being not dissimilar to an angry god about to set the world on fire and doesn't even have the minimal decency to give you a fan. It's
Okay. Guys, I might be a gooner.
angry god about to set the world on fire and doesn't even have the minimal
Does it not look like he's wearing a bra and has giant big boingies hanging out with the like a booby crack? Like, what is that?
decency to give you a fan. It's so dependent on luck, in fact, that for the PE warm-up Keg Kaboom, I failed 1 time trying to get the hardest difficulty gold relic. I failed 3 times trying to get the 2nd hardest crystal. I failed 1 time trying to get the 3rd hardest gem, but then I failed 2 times trying to get the easiest trophy. The first 5.5 minutes of those attempts being 1 loss and 1 tie after 1.5 minutes of nothing but walking around and hoping for the best. Tiny beat all of us by nearly 300 points on the trophy. How? I spent nearly 10 minutes trying to get the steaming trophy here, and it was nearly all dust in the wind. Look at this scenario. 2-all, including the tie that doesn't score anything. We had already played 5 rounds of walking around emptying our mother's ashes all over the floor. 7.5 minutes of this. And if Tiny won the final round, I would have had to have done it all over again. Because of the random factor, even the easiest trophy matches can be no slouches. Check out my very first attempt of Tilt Panic, level 6 of the game. Then on level 11, the 3rd polar bear stage, on my first attempt, I spent just under 2 minutes losing to Tiny 3 times in a row, meaning I had to start the minigame over again. But then as soon as I restarted, I didn't only then win 3 times in a row, but each of those rounds took me 13 seconds, 7 seconds, and 5 seconds to win.
Dang, gamer! Holy crap!
Crystal challenge you will see online group therapy sessions about is Sky Balls. It sounds simple enough. You play the game like normal, but just have to avoid red balls that will end the game as soon as you touch them. However, that's not exactly accurate, because how it really works is that every ball is normal, and then every so often, at random, one of the balls kicked by another player will then turn red. So if you're preparing yourself to guard against a player's kicked ball towards you, there's every chance it will be a good ball 1 second and then fly towards you as a deadly red ball.
You can't even get over that fast! Are you supposed to have that so Raven vision? How do you beat that? You just gotta reload.
All the while, you have to try scoring against the others, all the while having to try and dodge the rogue red balls that bounce towards you that weren't even aimed at you, all the while trying to save your goal from all of the other normal balls, all the while considering that if the red ball goes into another player's goal, it doesn't count as a score. Lots of people, especially speedrunners, hate this challenge, and most of the time, they don't even go for it, and it's easy to see why. But for this video, when I was dreading this challenge above most of the others, do you know how many times it took me to do this?
41.
1.
Oh. I think I was wrong. I'm gonna be honest, I think I was wrong. Jesus?
Well done.
No, I'm not kidding. 1 attempt, 2 minutes total playtime. Is it because I've now played Rash Scratch so much that I'm just that skilled at it? No. It was pure, unfiltered, no MSG luck. I was just accidentally in the right positions at the right micro instances and there weren't that many red ball appearances. It's all random.
It doesn't matter if they're wrong or right or whatever. The point is that it doesn't matter.
Is
It's
it left?
stupid. It's just. I've been knocked off 3 times
He
in a
can't
row.
even move! They're gonna do it again.
4 times in a row. 4 times. 5 times in a row.
Okay, maybe this is why my disc was snapped in half. I'm starting to maybe get some memories back that were like stored at the behind of my brain.
Bro! 6 times in a...
The same thing happened on the Crystal Challenge for Pogo Padlock, where the only way to score points and paint your own tiles is by stealing them from other players. How do you steal them? By grabbing
Going
a
on
missile
top?
power-up and hitting another player. It's luck if you are close enough to a missile power-up to grab it, luck if there's
Yeah.
no other player that has a missile and is close enough to attack you and make you lose the missile, luck if you are able to fire it quick enough at a close enough player, luck if that player just so happens to have enough painted squares to steal, luck
Oh
if a
my
point box is even nearby
God.
for you to then bank your points when you do steal, luck if no other players paint over what you've already stolen before that moment, and
I'm playing Maple Story. I'm over it.
luck if nobody else fires a missile at you, stealing back all of the painted tiles that you just so happen to steal, and then luck that no point box appears near them so they can bank all of those points and then make it impossible for you to catch up. Sounds like a nightmare, doesn't it? Well, do you want to know
Yeah.
how long this took me? 3.5 minutes. 2
Oh.
attempts. That's it. It's luck.
At least we're getting content out of it. Oh, look, I got shot again. That's a surprise.
Living
and
in America
twice
be
in
like-
a row. 3 times in a row. Can we go for a 4? 4 times.
Is it my fault in the Space Bash Gold Relic Challenge that this Nitro crate appeared underneath my feet and caused me to lose? Is it my fault in the Splash Dash Gold Relic Challenge I nearly won twice in a row on my
Wait, this is gonna actually go with my brain. Down, 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 down. What song is this? I forgot.
first try, but then on the second attempt, I randomly got shoved off the center 2 times in a row on the second to last lap, causing me to lose? Or when after 9
Oh, the
attempts...
can! I thought it was from a game. I need to go outside.
attempts and 12 minutes of trying,
I thought this was some Terraria OST. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I was about to win for the second time in a row, but on the very final lap, I got randomly pushed off the center and then immediately bumped off from another racer once I recovered. Is it my fault on Keg Kaboom's Gold Relic when I'm getting no barrels or bitches for that matter? And as soon as I lose the round, the highest point scoring gold barrel just appears right in front of my feet when the game's already
Oh
over?
my
Is it my fault when in the Drain
God.
Bash Gold Relic, all the power-up crates closest to me not only gave me a power-up when there's a 1 in 4 chance to even get a power-up, but it just so happened that all of these were the most powerful in the game and ended all of the fights within seconds, causing me to win? Is it my fault in the jungle?
See, look, I can't even ask, is it my fault? Because Twitch chat will always say, yep, skill issue, you suck.
Gold Fox Gem when you have to win within 30 seconds, but you're stuck in a slow-moving tank firing slow-moving projectiles that can only be fired once at a time, and then after 6 failed attempts, I eventually win because the other players all blew themselves up? Is it my fault in El Pogo Loco's Crystal when Ripperoo's instant fail nitro crates appear right next to me and I'm locked into a movement too slow to move away? Is it my fault in Metal Fox's Crystal when you have to avoid all of the one-hit kill mines dropping from the sky, and then I get wedged in between the corners by Crash, completely unable to move as one drops right on my damn
He
head?
too
Is it my
thick!
fault in Ring Ding's Gem when I pop a power-up balloon to change all my balloons to my color, and then somehow also break a power-up crate that isn't anywhere near me, giving me a vacuum cleaner to suck up all of my own balloons to pop, and the AI then shits itself and can't kick me to cancel any of it, even though 99% of all the other times I can't keep a vacuum power-up for more than a second without...
Can you tell when somebody's been hurt? Just like the delivery. I think the gray screen helps too. He's seen some shit.
being kicked, and then after a few seconds of ITVs dancing on ice, I end up winning, but then the gem animation and sound effect happens before the announcement telling me I even won the match first, causing the game to crash. The answer is yes, it is my fault. because I'm playing Crash Bash, where points appear, where balls spawn, where power-ups appear, where hazards attack. Aside from only a handful of examples like the totem pole attacking you on Jungle Fox in the same location at the same amount of time remaining in the match, there's no pattern to any of the randomized elements, and none of it can be predicted or worked around to your advantage. You've just got to play at your absolute peak possible best and get lucky.
He doesn't seem to be dropping any nitro. Apart from there, and there, and there! What the hell?
And not just
It's so hard to get Discord Nitro these days.
from the supreme AI and randomized munt, but also from the instability of the actual software. That game freeze I showed you from Ring Ding, sure, for me, that's the only time that Crash Bash froze and broke from a Crash Bash crash, but that doesn't mean it's perfectly polished like a lovely vase. You heard me, the other players hate you, and the environment hates you too. The balls in the Pong games can sometimes clip through the goalposts, totally unreachable to you, and count as a goal.
Just let one in. Come on. Let one in for me.
PvE,
Where did that come
PvP, CPU, VP.
I spat all over my chin.
The tank games can sometimes let other players live despite them having 0 health remaining. The mallet mash hammer sometimes just doesn't hit the mushrooms on your right in front of the damn things. One of my attempts of Keg Kaboom ended in a tie when I actually had more points than the other players. And I came across plenty more in my streams as well.
What? Where's the camera? The reflection on the air.
Bring out the
A little
camera
old lady. What the
mom!
hell was... What happened there?
Ow.
How did he... Excuse me. Did he miss that TNT? TNT! Explosion! Blast radius!
Ow!
Crash Bash is a good game.
This is not the face of mercy. This is the last face you see before it cuts your life support and teabags you. If it wasn't bad enough going through all of
Do they not play test this stuff? Do they just put Crash on something or like, yeah, you know what? That's good enough. It's gonna sell.
this for the sake of a new thing to collect, even the manual doesn't cut you a break. I failed. Don't worry, everyone else will be laughing at you, but you can still have another go. Oh,
Oh my god! There is no mercy, not even in the English language?
gee, I can? I didn't know. Thanks for letting me know I can have another 8 turns only to lose at the end and do another 8. If you can't face the chance of a humiliating defeat again, pick the return to Warp Room option and hang your head in shame. You know,
Well, I'll do more than that, I guess. Let me take it to the next level.
you know what? There are not enough games nowadays that tell you how worthless you are. What's that? You paid money to play our game? Prick. Hang your head in shame. How about you hang yourself? It isn't my fault that this happened.
That's another problem with everything being as slow as it is. Because of how slow you... Why?
Technically, the gold relic challenges are the hardest base collectibles you have to get to unlock everything. So explain why in the Sky Balls relic challenge, I won within only a couple of tries because everybody decided to turn into the entrance doors at my local Sainsbury's. Due to the sheer unpredictability of this disc, not only do you have to deal with the repetitive act of replaying the same 10 base minigames over and over again in very slight difficult variations, but you spend just as much time revisiting the save station just in case the game sloppies all over the rug. There's just no letting up to it. Play...
Oh, dude. I didn't even think about that. There's no autosave. You will always have to go back to the main center and then go and save after every single minigame. That sucks. It's like using Maya.
Game, fail, play game, win, save game, tramp. Play game, fail, play game, win, save game, tramp. Play game, fail, play game, win, save game, tramp. Play game, fail, play game, win, save game, change your name to Skinny. This isn't a video game, it's dishwashing. But at least with dishwashing, you get all of the poo off. And how about all the last...
Ew, why am I pooing on my dishes? Did I miss something?
minute pull-togethers. Holy shit. With the unstackable odds against you in this game, the amount of times that you only just barely make it is enough to give you the right amount of mental damage where you could kill someone and avoid prison time.
He's on one life!
Oh! Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
This is the guy who does the volley. Who are you? What am I? I'm the you that you wish you were, or something like that.
In the other Crash games, you know how
Who
many
do you
times
think
you
you
saw
are?
the
I
dreaded
am.
fact that you missed one box? Well, carries across that classic series staple. Great. but you missed one box? Well, how about you change that to great, but you lost by 1 point? This happens so many times, it's enough to convince me that Crash 4 was not inspired by Crash 2, but this instead. Yes, I know that was 2 points, but you can shove off and stick that 1 extra point in your hole, you hippie. You come back and talk to me when you're going for the Swamp Fox Gold Relic, and after 33 minutes of trying, you lose your second win in a row with this much health remaining on a gorilla with an anus for a face. At this point, you're
He got him on his chest, too. We saw them. They were some big cheeks.
likely wondering, Caddy, Bay, surely, after playing this game so much, you must have learned 1 or 2 techniques to make this process a lot easier.
Yeah! Wait, RNG, though.
And as it happens, yes, I have. And one of those techniques is that— To be fair, it isn't completely luck dependent. I suppose the biggest control you have over your ultimate destiny is the character you pick at the start of the adventure.
Wait, that just unlocked a neuron in my brain. The ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny.
They all have varying stats depending on a few of the games, such as Dingadal having the most pathetic charge on the polar bears, but is able to charge more since he uses less stamina, Tiny having the strongest tank attack but also the slowest firing and can only fire once at a time while the attack is on screen, and Cortex stopping himself from tattooing the full N-word on his head. For the majority of the time, there are no differences. As far as I know, it doesn't matter who you are on the Pong stages, Pogo stages, and Dash stages, for instance.
You will lose.
But whenever I play this game, which after this video will be never again, I always main as I—
That was me after I ate every Lunchable for a stream. I didn't eat Lunchables for years. I couldn't even stomach them. I wanted to puke. I had too many. Then I just got a video I recommended today that was like what Lunchables does to your health. I'm probably gonna die like tomorrow.
the Tiny or Kong. The slower firing tank is a bugger, but as long as your aim is good, you won't have any problems doing a lot of damage fairly quickly. Just don't miss your shot, for the love of God. However, when it comes to the fighting stages, you have the second quickest box pickup and throw animation behind Cortex and Brio. And for the polar bears, you have the second strongest charge behind Cortex and Brio. Except with Kong or Tiny, you get a pretty devastating charge without having to wait as long to use it again like Cortex or Brio have to. Tiny and Kong just feel naturally like the best average players to me across all of the games.
Yeah.
But even then, I shouldn't have to be saying that, because why can't you change your characters during the adventure mode? Why?
Do you guys like when games have different stats for characters like this? Like, it would basically be like playing Mario Party, but maybe like Peach is a little faster and like, I don't know, Bowser's a little stronger. You like that? Especially in like RNG games? Oh, interesting.
Are you locked in the first?
I always saw characters in party games like skins. Does that make sense? Like, I always assume that everybody is, like, on equal footing, but you just choose who you think is, like, more slay.
Place. What on my fettered old jockstrap is the point of having a good team and an evil team if you can't swap between everybody else on your team? Good or evil characters don't affect anything in the game at all, other than the grand total of 90 seconds worth of unique cutscenes through the story that are nothing other than...
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, sorry.
It's the best. Beat all of the bosses for me so I can take over the world. And don't mind me, I'm just gonna fly over to you and turn you into a snowball so everyone else can knock you off. Lol.
I also...
Dude, he's an all-powerful being, but he watches soccer all day? Does he have nothing else to do?
Do know that you can always do a 2-player adventure mode instead of a single-player adventure, like 250 Crash 250. With 250,000 subscribers. And theoretically, that should make most of the challenges at least half the difficulty. You can both pick varied stat characters and share the burden of going against impossible odds working together. However, some of the challenges let you do that to give you double the chances to mess up, and some of the challenges lump you together as a single health bar or team. So if one of you hasn't had their Tyson Fury ice lolly, that suddenly becomes half the amount of mistakes you're both allowed to make. And just like with picking the character, you can't swap between 1 or 2-player mode once you begin it. So don't go committing to a 2-player adventure, get a few hours in, and then realize that there's that one minigame that your friend isn't any good at, otherwise they're taking you both down with their own kamikaze pong car. The biggest issue, I think, is that a lot of these things, the randomized elements that...
How did it take me this long to notice his eyes? I think it was because I was an emo kid growing up, so I guess at first I maybe thought that it was makeup, and now I'm realizing that it's supposed to make him look tired. I mean, honestly, if he showed up like this, I think he'd just go into Warped Tour.
Locked-in character select, the bullshit made-up story that doesn't make any sense and contradicts itself. All of those things wouldn't be worth focusing on and wouldn't be a problem in the context of a multiplayer party game, but not in a required single-player mode that you
Yeah.
need to do in order to unlock the only reason you would ever want to buy this game or play it in the first place. Why should you replay the same 10 base minigames multiple times? Why should it take 7 to 10 hours? Why should you be unable to switch characters? Why
Because you're 10 years old. It just keeps coming back to this. This was when I had no standards.
Why should the challenges make the AI unusable and take away something for you and no one else? Why am I yelling about a 20-year-old 32-bit video game when I have a mortgage? I decided to count every single time I saw this screen during my journey to get all 4 of everything in all 28 levels. Not total attempts and wins, just this giant mocking fail screen.
Yeah.
And do you know how many times I saw it? 354. And this is just counting the fail screen itself, which doesn't apply to any failed
You're not perfect.
trophy attempts or even failed trophy levels, since that screen doesn't appear there.
doing
Only
a
on bosses,
wheelie.
gems, crystals, and gold relics. You know something? When I started recording footage for this game, I knew going into it that I was going to be failing a lot of times and attempting a lot of matches. So you know what I did?
What?
I got a
My
counting
mom?
app to keep
Oh.
track of everything as I played.
What is that advertisement? What is going on the bottom of the app?
It's an app that counts. It's a counting app.
What is that? I'm inspected.
It sounds really silly, but it's actually been really helpful while making this video. It's really good for me as well because I can't count very high. I've only got 11
neither.
fingers.
Whoa, did he edit that?
It's really good for me as well because I can't count very high. I've only got 11
I had to check if maybe I had 11 by accident.
fingers. That screen and sound effect lasts for 4.5 seconds every single time you fail. Times that by the 354 times I saw it, leaves us with 1,593 seconds.
Did he get attacked by a gorilla? What happened? He's falling apart at the seams.
Meaning that out of the 10 hours, 49 minutes, and 10 seconds it took for me to get all 28 of everything, 26 minutes and 33 seconds of that was Crash Bash telling me I failed. And once again, for the
Wow.
sake of being charitable, if I took all of my game footage and arranged them by quickest 25 gems, 23 crystals, 21 gold relics, and 4 bosses, that changes the fail count to 125, also
Okay.
known as 9 minutes and 22 seconds of looking at the fail screen out of 7 hours, 1 minute, and 1 second it took for me to get all of that stuff. I saw
my
this
God.
word so many times, it is forever burned into my TV and burned into my eyes. And yeah, the gems and crystals can suck a small one, but I'm sure you're curious.
Choking
what
hazard.
were the worst gold relics for me in my playthrough? You know, the ones where you had to beat the impossibly difficult AI twice in a row to win, or else you start all over again? Well, let's have a quick top 5 and I'll show you. They're just in here.
Sponsored by Areola.
Drag and drop is a total crapshoot. There's 4 of you, 2 gems. You need to grab one, run towards a point scoring zone, and then aim and throw the gem at a moving target to get those points. And by the way, you can
This
all
seems
charge into
difficult.
each other to knock the gems out, and they always charge into you. There is absolutely no sense in
Assholes.
actually trying to play this properly. By the time you see a gem, head over to it, plan where you're going to stand and where to aim and fire. It's already been knocked out by 2 characters at once, twice in a row.
Yeah.
And even if you manage to grab a gem and fire it towards the target without any hassle, there's nothing stopping another player from catching your gem mid-throw anyway, making it all worthless. The only reason this took me only 11 minutes and not longer is because I figured out that standing in the 5-point scoring zone and just waiting for the gems to fly towards you gives you better results more consistently.
He doing the Luigi strap.
Is so unpredictable that I won one of the hardest challenges in one of the most brutal levels by doing nothing at all. Endballism
12
gave me
minutes.
an embolism. I don't really need to explain more
What
about
is
this
that?
challenge other than you're playing 4-way Pong. At random points, engine spits all over you like a chav, and you're against AI that you are physically and mentally unable to compete with. Do you like those force field power-ups that automatically push balls away from you for a few seconds? Well, I guess not as much as these guys do, because the absolute micro instant they appear, they get them every time. Actually,
Jeez.
this all sounds like you just suck. Skill issue. Get good, bro. Why are you such a noob? Do the Riz.
No cap on a sec, Dennis.
How do you like the sound of racing around in a circle for 10 laps quicker than everybody else in underwater physics while a mechanical fish racist pushes you off the edge at completely
Where
random
you
points that
doggy,
you
I be
can't jump
liking
over
that.
once it starts pushing you, and also the other racers drive around the water in pixel-perfect speed and precision like Lewis Hamilton in a swimming pool and also knock you off nearly as much as the Pistons in the middle do? I don't like the sound of that. Nobody likes the sound of that. But if you're one of the people that do, good news. You only need 17 other gold relics to give it a go. Look at these guys. Look at them. They aren't even trying to make pretend mistakes. They're just perfect, right to the
God.
very edge of the arena.
They
And
got that
boosting, no
line.
less. Speaking of boosting, this is actually something I learned recently about this specific level. If you want to make it a little easier for yourself, grab as many Wumpa Fruit as you can and
Okay.
save as much energy as you can so that you can hold the boost button down for as long as possible while going around. It
Write that
sounds
down.
like you're going to lose control, but surprisingly, it makes the underwater control tighter, and you're faster, and it gives you more chances to knock opponents off the edge as you speed around. I mean, that is
I mean, that's really good. I don't know if I'll use that information, but it's definitely gonna be stored in my brain, and I'm gonna remember it one night when I'm trying to go to sleep.
all depending on if you can get any Wumpa Fruit at all, because they randomly spawn at random points around the track, so... Bye! I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemies.
I would.
Well...
Yeah.
All of the polar bear levels suck on relic challenges. I don't have anything clever to say, they're just bad. Look at this. Why are you all going after me? Is this a 4-player match or 1 against 3? Look at this ganging up. What is this, Camden? The other players
Menage a
always aim
trois.
at you. They all have more powerful charges, and they know to the atom how to cancel out whatever move you're trying to do to them. If you're unlucky enough to be left with Rillaroo or Dingadal, you might as well just stop the game. Unless there's a lightning strike or insta-kill weight power up to use,
Dude,
they
spin
will use
attack's
their
crazy.
near infinite stamina in order to cancel the momentum of any charge you hit at them. And by the time you have a charge ready to go again, they've got enough to charge back at you and then cancel your next charge
Oh
out
my
just to be safe. You know, I mean,
God.
I guess you can never be too careful.
He looked kind of cute right there. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was an I Can Has cheeseburger ass face.
Most of my attempts running around on this Titanic ammunition went 2 ways. Either like this,
I hate when game have animal dying noise. I feel horrible. He was just a car. Imagine getting in a car accident and your car goes, Why? Why didn't you signal?
or like this, and I would either run out of time, get knocked off myself, or get super lucky. Twice in a row. Screw it. Second place goes to all of the polar bear levels. All of them. They all
You got
suck.
insulted by a
All
polar
4
bear.
of the gold relics for all the polar bear stages took me 78 attempts to do, or 58 minutes and 48 seconds. Good.
Jeez, I am so happy I lit a candle before we watched this video because this game is shit and I don't want to smell it.
Bye. This was the part of the game where I nearly quit it forever and decided to make another video. I don't even know where to start. It's a tank battle, but with no cover anywhere, and every single attack is aimed at you. I wish I was
Horrible.
exaggerating. I have never seen mugging like this before. We're not with Camden gangs anymore. We're with pirates off the coast of Somalia. Do you have
Yarr.
any idea how much more manageable this would be if you could just reverse? Because you can't. You're on a boat. All you can do is guff your way in the direction you're facing and very slowly turn around while the enemies are able to play the greatest game of snooker ever recorded by zoo animals and somehow hit you with wall ricochets towards the area you will end up. The regular tank stages are bad enough when you miss a shot and have to wait for your bullet to expire before firing again, but at least you can hide behind cover while you wait. But if you miss in Swamp Fox, that's it, game over. And yes, I know you have a shield that you can activate every few
Oh, you
seconds,
do?
but for some reason, I swear on my mum that it just doesn't work. I know it's only a few brief frames of invincibility, but unless you activate it the
It's
absolute
so fast.
instant a shot
It's a
hits you,
parry.
it will expire. Is this where Dark Souls 2 got the idea for ADP?
No! Why did you have to bring up ADP? Why?
also have every reason to believe that the computer players can use the shield way faster than you without anywhere near the same amount of cooldown. And yes, they know
insta-parry.
exactly when to activate it.
Yeah.
At least 75% of my shots just never cause damage to anyone because of how perfectly they play. And don't even bother using the water mines because they not only float away in one random direction, but every character automatically keeps away from it unless you're extremely lucky.
And that's a tight turn, too. It's literally perfect. Oh, okay, so, like, ADP is... So, you know how in Dark Souls you can, like, roll and, like, open walls and stuff like that, and it counts as, like, iframes? You have to, like, level that in DS2, so you don't automatically have invincibility frames. So you have to put points into it.
Mines are so useless that in every single attempt of this challenge, the computer players never use them a single time. They always use them in the regular tank stages, but never here. I wonder why they were programmed like that. Oh yes, it's because this is Crash Bash, and Crash Bash is plastic disc-shaped hate.
You fail.
Let's talk about the music. The soundtrack of Ash is easily the best thing
Ash.
about it. It might not be a Naughty Dog game, and it might not be the same composer as the original trilogy and CTR, but
But it is a naughty game. To your room. 10 spankings and no dinner.
it doesn't matter, because for such a meddling, offensively average party game, the music goes much harder than it has any right to.
That's what I said earlier. Oh. Oh, okay, honestly, I'll tell you the vibe I'm getting from the songs. This song seems more medieval. This is walking around the Renfest with your wizard friend and your knight girlfriend. I don't know, I'm just, this is more medieval. Now, this is Disco Party on the Moon, Dancing with the Bunnies. Wait, no. That turned a little tropical. Oh! This is when you get back to the ye old medieval tavern with your wench? You did a good job!
But even a soundtrack as good as this can't be saved from repeated matches. You will get sick of some of these tunes at some point, while getting sick of playing the minigames multiple times over, including the loading music and warp room music. And the absolute worst part of it is that there are 28 levels and 4 bosses, but only 2 original boss themes and 20 stage themes. So you're not
Jeez.
only going through a million replays, but potentially a million re-listens of shared tracks across a few levels, with Swamp Fox being the worst offender. Here's the track.
I don't know how long I can listen to a banjo before I lose my mind. Am I at Bass Pro Shop?
For a few minutes, it's fine, but this track is used in Dante's Dash and
How? How does that match lava at all? Like, the lava song should have went boom ba dum boom bum boom boom ba da boom boom boom. Then you hear like the bubbling in the back. And then this one should have been medieval.
Drag and drop as well. So then if you tally all of my time spent in those 3 levels getting everything, I was listening to this hillbilly brown noise for 1 hour and 33 minutes. I swear to God, after playing
Jeez.
through all of these levels, if I see another banjo in public again, I'm gonna...
Oh my god! Don't show him Kazooie!
But that is honestly as bad as it gets in the single player mode. Getting everything sucks, but it isn't necessary. Only getting nearly everything is. So now I have all the trophies, all the gems, all the crystals, all the relics, and beat all the bosses. Let's take a look at our inventory on the first level and see all of the collectibles on screen nice and complete, so we can reflect on how far we've come.
There's more! You have got to be kidding me! What?
And
Did you look at the
No, I
title of this
know.
video and think, okay, unlocking all of the minigames must be 100%, and then getting all of the collectibles must make it 200%? I wish I was as ignorant as you. Actually, no, I don't.
Oh.
You've got low IQ. There is
You win. Yeah, you win. I don't even know what to say to that. I'll take an IQ test right now. Oh my god, it just came back. 1 second, it's printing out. 250. I'm the smartest person here.
Is another hurdle to jump if you want to definitively prove to everyone that you are a true alpha gamer of Crash Bash. You could have spent around 7 odd hours getting the necessary shit to unlock all of the minigames, and then another 3 odd extra hours getting the final remaining collectibles. And then they appear. If you like Crash Bash, you'll be elated. But if you're normal, you'll be horrified to find that there is yet another challenge collectible that is now available to you. The Platinum Relics. And where in every other Crash game, the Platinum Relics are basically the developer time trial times. No, you don't have to finish any of these levels in a really quick amount of time or anything. Instead, what you have to do is not only go through all 28 levels all over again for the 5th goddamn trinket, but also means you have to win the mini-games with the hardest possible AI 3 times in a row.
It's not even creative. I thought maybe it'd be like you have to play with it upside down, controls inverted. They didn't even think of anything?
Now listen. Come here.
Okay.
Come closer. That's it. Yeah. Keep coming. Come a little bit closer. Yeah. Come on. Keep going. Yeah, you got it. Come get it.
oh.
Come get it.
What'd you have for lunch?
I'm not joking when I say this. This is not a joke. I have been sick in my mouth and swallowed it before.
I do that all the time.
This is worse.
That's spicy.
Yeah, no, this is worse. I would take finishing all of these levels within the developer's times a millionfold over doing this. Can you even quantify the raw fury you would feel after spending minutes and minutes replaying the same near impossible difficulty minigame, getting 2 wins in a row?
At least make it to where you get this already. To where you can unlock both of them at the same time, like in one playthrough. Because if you're at 2, then you get the relic. Then you can try again to go to 3, and then you unlock both of them at the same time. I have to basically do it 5 times.
And then pissing it all away on the 3rd round, leaving you to have to start the 3 wins in a row all over again. Because unless you've tried doing this yourself, you can't imagine it. Going through the Platinum Relics of Crash Bash is equal to losing your child. You can tell me you're there for me, you can sympathize, you can send me stinking old flowers, but unless you've been there, you can never, ever truly understand. 7 hours minimum to unlock all the multiplayer games that you need for the sake of a multiplayer game is bad enough. 10 hours to collect everything in the story mode is another thing.
How
but
bored
going
do you
through
have to
these is probably
be?
the main reason why this video was made. And that's because this isn't a video. It's a warning in the interest of public safety. I am writing to my local government to get the message out. Do not attempt to 200% Crash Bash. Life is too short, and by doing this, you will shorten it by at least an extra 1/3. What mental patient decided to add this to the game? After everything you've already done, why does it have to make you do this as well? Ring, ring,
you,
hello?
Blockbuster!
What's that? It's entirely optional. I've done this to myself when they threw me! Well, I mean, that's one argument you could make, I suppose, but then the one I'd immediately counter is that if it is another pointless challenge that requires you playing the same mini-games all over again for a 5th time, winning them on the hardest difficulty but 3 times in a row instead of 2 times in a row, which you've already done, and it's completely optional, then why is it even in the game to begin with? Yeah, it's optional, but it's still terrible. It's easily the worst part of the whole game, so I'm gonna bitch. This adds nothing. It proves nothing. It provides thou with nothing. The Platinum Relics are only a thing you choose to do as an extra present to yourself with a pipe bomb in it. You only do this for 200% if you completely loathe yourself and want to be the next religious martyr to die for the sins of every other person that ever spent money on this disc-shaped blood diamond.
I'm just refunding it at this point, giving it back, turning it back in, going to the red box. I really don't know why you would do this other than like a speed run.
Do you want to see a rough idea on how bad it can get? Oh, you don't? Tough tits. Look, this is just another one of those variations of the Pong games, with the main gimmick being that you can briefly magnetize as many balls as you can fit on you and then fire them away when you want. But now you're against 3 other players that are desperate for koala hot dogs. It's what makes all of the other 5-star AI Pong challenges.
Do people eat koala? Is it a koala TV?
Challenge is difficult, honestly, but I had to include this one at the very least for this one part here, where I had won 2 games in a row already, and then on my 3rd try, I was so close. I was inches away from winning and walking away. Yeah, I know I only had 1 life left and Brio had 6, but I couldn't just give up and start again. I was 2 out of 3 wins into my streak. I didn't want to start all over again, so I had no choice but to keep pressing on. And for 1.5 agonizing minutes, I kept the pressure up, playing at top form, and Brio's health went slowly down. 5, 4, 3,
He's
2,
gonna blow up.
1, and then...
Oh, hell no!
I spent a minute and a half doing that. My blood pressure nearly killed me. All for nothing. Can we call this condition crash bashitis? We've seen the gangs in Camden, we've seen the pirates in Somalia, and just when we thought we were safely out of it, along came World War II Germany. It honestly didn't seem to matter which direction I went, where I dropped mines, or when I fired. All the computer players have a soldier wasp hive mind that exists to do nothing except eliminate you. Based on this alone, I'm convinced that the Desert Fox Platinum Relic Challenge was developed for military affairs. It's a simulation for real-life war regiment coordination. You want to know why World War III hasn't happened yet, and no one dares to start it? It's because we train our soldiers with the Platinum Relic tank game in Crash Bash. Oh look, it's the funny fish game. What? Are you not gonna actually explain why it's bad? No, I don't care, but I appreciate the feedback though.
It's bad. Oh.
You've been to Camden. You've been to Somalia. You've been to World War II Germany.
What's
and now
left?
You're at the final boss.
Atlantis?
Detroit. The polar
I mean, Detroit is really bad. My bad.
Best stages as a whole can be the bleakest prospect for any of the collectible challenges across Gash. But Tilt Panic specifically is undeniable proof of how much of a speck we are in the universe and how meaningless we are. You've not only got the superpowered Ted Bundy AI, but you also have this drunk ice cube that makes moving around 10 times harder than it needs to be. You know what?
Maybe this is how people train to drive in, like, Mississippi. Beer in one hand, but they have played a lot of Crash Bash, so they're used to the slipping and sliding.
The camera angle shits me off too. You have no idea how many attempts I completely muffed because I charged directly off the edge of the damn ice when I swear I should have been making contact. Why can't the camera angle be a little bit higher up? I'm not a child standing next to a table looking at chocolate cake. Also, depending on where the tilt is leaning, it can make your charge stronger or weaker. So if you're unlucky enough to be on the lowest dipping point of the tilt and all of the players come at you at once, that's it. It's all over. Almost comically quickly.
Why are they all screaming?
And that will happen a lot more than not, because guess what? If all the players are always going after you, then all of their weight tilts the stage towards you by default, meaning you're already at the bottom of the tilt and you've already lost. There are other players here. Why aren't you fighting each other? What did I do?
1 hour and 23 minutes. Watch this. Oh, shit! It was just an hour!
Minutes. 62 minutes. 62 minutes.
What else could you do with 62 minutes? I don't know, maybe play Mega Bonk? Couple of runs there. You could do a Bob Ross tutorial. You could complete a puzzle.
I spent 1 hour and 2 minutes of my lifespan trying to win a shiny magnifying glass that isn't even real.
He's like a cat!
You know that Hellraiser reboot from 2022? That was pretty good, but I didn't realize they already tried to reboot the franchise and explored the depths of sadomasochism.
That's kind of a cool character design. I have never seen this. Chad, have you watched this?
Even before that, it was made in 2000 and it was called Hellraiser, Pinhead, and the Crash Bash Embolism Platinum Relic, with all of the Red Bull enhanced AI and the power-ups that you can.
That's Pinhead. Who are you calling Pinhead?
Never grab, and the smoothie blender shatting out balls all over the place at 70 miles an hour. This was so difficult that it took me 18 minutes to win my first match. 18 minutes to win my first match.
And then you have to win
I had to do it another 2 times in a row without failing. I didn't, but that's what I had. And what's best about it is that out of all of the minigame types, the Pong stages are the only ones with no time limit and only end when there's one player remaining.
Dude, he shoots the balls out so fast, he's like a souped-up tack shooter.
This isn't the polar bears where you have 90 seconds to play, but it can also end in, like, 1 second. Jesus Christ. These matches will last as long as they damn well like. You need to win an assault on your soul for as long as it takes 3 times in a row.
And how could a kid do this? Like, honestly. You all right, though, Barry? Just making sure everything's okay? I think I'm okay. Chad, am I okay? Am I okay? My cheeks are a little red? No, they're not!
If you take the amount of time I spent doing this and divide it by my total attempts of it, that averages out at roughly 1 minute and 52 seconds per attempt. For the sake of perspective, I am not a fan of the pogo stick levels for how slow they are and how they outstay their welcome.
You look worried, face. I always look like this. It's a debuff I've had for a long time.
Perspective, I am not a fan of the pogo stick levels for how slow they are and how they outstay their welcome far too early, but at least each match of those games only lasts until the clock runs out in 1 minute and 30 seconds, whereas each match of Embolism Platinum took me an average 22 seconds longer than that per attempt.
22 seconds is a long time.
Let that sink in.
62
You'd think that me doing this is insane.
Yeah.
You'd
Trilogy.
probably think that anybody choosing to do this is insane.
Yeah, Taze.
And you're right. But to me, it's all worth it.
Why?
Just so I can prove my earlier point
That the game
about
sucks.
random number generated luck across the whole game and how skill has little to nothing to do with playing properly.
I feel like the fun teacher just sat me down and we're having a talk I don't want to listen to. Why he not laughing no more? Why no more funny OST? Why no more goofy little skit? I think he brain broke.
Remember how on the Swamp Fox Gold Relic Challenge, that took me 37 minutes to do after 41 attempts? Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, the Platinum Relic version took me 7 minutes.
Oh.
I'm not making that up. The exact same level, exact same challenge, exact same AI, winning 3 times in a row instead of twice in a row, half an hour quicker.
Wow. You got good. He learned. He's going through the Dark Souls event.
I mean, if you need any more proof, I also did Mallet Mash Platinum on my first go. And not only did I win, but I won by double the amount of points of second place. Not because I'm just that good at walking around and hammering the floorboards down, but because all the good mushrooms appeared near me at the right moments.
Maybe the game feels like he's finally earned it. And they're spreading blessings all across the land.
So, where do we go from here? Part 2. I forgot to put the other parts in. Once I was done collecting all the MacGuffins and then collecting myself, I decided to cap everything off with a fight against the final boss one more time, just so I could see the credits roll and confirm that I wasn't dreaming. I couldn't help but feel absolutely nothing. There was this empty, hollow void in my chest that I
This was like when I finished Expedition 33!
couldn't shake. Which is the best possible time to start tallying your final stats. To get all 28 trophies, all 28 gems, all 28 crystals, all 28 gold relics, all 28 platinum relics, beat all 4 bosses, and replay the final boss one last time, it took me...
Speed run!
Oh, really? That's not too bad.
Oh! I spoke way too soon. I am so sorry.
Which means that if you take away my original time it took to get all trophies, gems, crystals, and gold relics, I spent 7 hours, 35 minutes, and 27 seconds on the Platinum Relics alone. Averaging out at 16 minutes and 16 seconds extra per level.
And not only did it take me 18.5 hours to finish this game 200%.
And you know what speedrunner brain does? You go, nah. I can do it faster. I'm going again.
But do you know how many times I saw that fail screen? 513.
Oh, counter!
513.
Wow.
And remember, that's not counting any losses or rematches in the trophy levels because the fail screen doesn't pop up in any of the trophy levels.
And the counter was green earlier, but now his little screen tummy has been booped so much he's red with anger.
So if we
What?
take that number and times it by the amount of times I saw it, then that means out of the 18 hours, 24 minutes, and 37
Yeah, that was some bandicoochie.
seconds it took me to get everything in this game, I spent 38 minutes and 29 seconds looking at the fail screen, or 3.47% of my entire playtime.
Wow, math.
I spent 38 minutes of my life having Crash Bash tell me I'm a failure.
If you ever consider going through the arduous hell of Crash Bash 200%,
No.
do I at least have any hints or tips to make your time less painful than mine? Is there anything you can do with the newfound knowledge I have from doing this twice in my
No.
life? Well, as it so happens, yes there is. Hint
Yes.
1. On the tank minigame, use the D-pad, because if you use the analog stick, there's a huge movement delay.
I love the D-pad, but the bad thing about the D-pad is it always like beats up my finger, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm like pressing into it way too rough, but it starts to get sore.
This concludes my hint and tips for Crash Bash 200. I don't think I've hammered in enough quite how dreadful this is to do and how boring and repetitive it truly is. To get everything, you'd have to play each of the levels 3 times for a trophy, once for a gem, once for a crystal,
I'm not
twice
doing
for
this.
gold, and 3 times for
I'm
platinum.
not, no.
10 times for all 28
This is a
levels. And that's
job.
only if I was being as forgiving as possible and treated the game as though you just bought it from new and yet somehow were able to do all of it perfectly on your first try. So, more accurately, playing each minigame 10 times is the absolute base minimum you'll be doing. This isn't counting
I'm sorry. I meant a
any fails that you're definitely going to run into, or the fact that you can still win the trophy even after all the other players won twice before you win 3 times, meaning you could still technically get the trophy after 9 replays on its own, making your new base minimum 16 matches per level on some of the most unremarkable and completely okay minigames ever shat onto a disc. What a
And no gambling other than RNG. Where's the giant blackjack table? Bandicoot blackjack? Where is the slot machine? Nothing?
cruel joke. What is this game? Sam Pepper? Obviously, I replayed and retried some of the games way more than others, but if I was to ignore the bosses for a second and take my complete tally of matches on all minigames across all challenges, including the victories, that grand number becomes 725 total minigame matches, divided by 28 levels, leaving me with an average of nearly 26 matches played per level. Shoot me. I'm sorry to bring the pogo stick shit back one last time, but I don't care if I'm repeating myself. If you like Crash Bash, you're already used to that. If you are pro enough to beat all of this plodding tripe across all variations and challenges on your first go, you'll be playing a minimum of this 1 minute 30-second minigame 40 times total.
You could have learned to pogo stick in real life. You could probably start doing flips and shit.
Which is 60 minutes. You want to know how much time I spent on this pogo game and all of its variations across all collectibles? Yeah, sure, it's
Oh, I don't know.
2 hours, 39 minutes, and 30 seconds, which is already awful enough that 14.4% of my 18.5-hour playtime was spent playing the bloody pogo, but it stands to reason to emphasize that the perfect play, best case scenario for 200% Crash Bash requires that you play at least 60 minutes of bloody pogo! But surely, if they went through the effort of including a secret unlockable platinum collectible for you to get, after you've already done everything,
you should get a skin. Crash wearing a cool beanie and some Adidas pants.
Including the hardest challenges, that must mean there has to be something at the end of it, right? There has to be something special. I know it's
Yeah.
optional, but there has to be an acknowledgement for 200%.
They should send you a shirt. They should send you $50 in the mail.
Right? Well, I'm proud to announce that after 200% completion and beating the final boss all over again to roll the credits, it is all identical to the regular ending.
What?
The one that you get before you even start the final 6 minigames in Warp Room 5. No secret ending, no extra character, no Warp Room fireworks, no congratulations message, no postcard of Isle Delfino. Absolutely nothing.
You should be able to jump on top of like the polar bear 40 times in a row.
All you get is the number 200 on your save file and not even an extra symbol next to it like a star or something.
And I don't even have anybody to share this with. Nobody's gonna think I did this and I'm cool.
They'll just sit there, useless, forever. Caddicarus and skinny. I don't expect a reward for doing optional completion tasks. All I really care about is how good it is to reach that point and therefore make me feel good about myself for going that far. Does it overstay its welcome? Is it too difficult for no reason at all? Is it too repetitive? Is it unfair? Does the presentation get annoying? Is it...
Do you need praise to feel like you accomplished something? Me? Yeah.
no longer fun after so long? And Crash Bash doesn't only tick all of those boxes, but it ticks all of those boxes within the first hour of adventure mode. Completing Crash 4 is bad enough, and there are far too many revisits, but at least that one involves more things to see, more things to hear, more things to do, and, you know, skill. Yeah, you only got a 10-second jack shit cliffhanger cutscene for your troubles, but it's at least something to acknowledge your effort. Crash...
And then you know, the devs cared, and they thought about you. But what did the devs care about here? Money, 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 money.
Crash is a lot shorter, but it isn't anywhere near Crash 4's quality. So ultimately, it doesn't matter how much shorter it is to complete. It still gives you barely any actual content, recycles 15 minutes worth of 10 minigame stars a million times over, and expects too much from you for far too long. All for one of the most mediocre games you'll ever play in your life, making the lack of acknowledgement for you going the distance the biggest insult of all. In that sense, completing Crash Bash will always be worse to me, and I will never, ever do it again. Programming Chris Adcock. Oh yeah, was it any good? Even Japan... Japan's version of Crash Bash had fake Crash as a playable character where no other version did. Couldn't you at least have given us that? 18 hours, 24 minutes, and 37 seconds of gameplay. 38 minutes and 29 seconds of fail screens, 36 minutes and 15 seconds of 3, 2, 1 countdowns, 2 hours, 13 minutes and 57 seconds of crazy people music, and 50 minutes
Crazy
and 45 seconds of all for absolutely nothing. How appropriate. It's almost poetic, really. And that is why, just like Gary Glitter's music, I can't enjoy Crash Bash anymore. Because Crash Bandicoot touches children.
He's right! He's right! I love my president!
Thank you.
He looks like he's been crying all night.
Wrong number. I'm sorry.
What do you mean you don't even need the Crash Bash game to basically play all of it? All you need is any demo version of Crash Bash, either from the magazine discs or from the secret code on Spyro 3's main menu. And then once the demo starts, you just need to enter one more code, and then basically the whole game is available to you immediately without ever needing to buy the full thing. And it also comes with cheat modifiers to make things easier or harder. And the Komodo brothers are replaced with Bart and Homer Simpson. It's not even plugged in.
Oh, whoa! Look up there, everybody. What is the... Oh my, look.
It's some fan mail. I wonder what it says.
Hey, Caddy. It was amazing to sit down and have an awesome one-on-one talk with you.
Aw.
Well, you haven't introduced yourself yet, so I don't know who you are.
I followed
God.
you on YouTube for years.
Is this the big JC?
Is getting into the early seasons until now, and whenever I see a new upload, it's always a time to sit down for more laughs and more crazy. I love it. Keep it up and keep making what inspires you. It's always a treat. Oh, well, you know what? I'm touched. That's a really lovely thing to say.
Hopefully not by Crash. I mean, you're... Wait, how old is he? 30? He's probably fine.
It means the world to me. Thank you so much. You are lovely. So packed in here is my copy of Crash Bash.
Oh, well, now I take that back. You're horrible.
I know how much you love it, so I thought, why not let me know how much you love this game by having free reign over it? You can do whatever you want to it, just don't break it or cook it or make it unplayable.
So I can use it as toilet paper.
Because God forbid I might want to play it again one day, only to remember how bad it is. So I hope you have fun doing such horribly wonderful things to it, and I can't wait to see all the things that you do. I can't wait to see everything, so when I look at such a bad game, I know that mine is special and will always put a smile on my face. Thanks, dude. Hope the family and you have a wonderful time. Wish you all the best, Royce. Oh,
This is so
so
cute.
is that how it is, Royce?
so I can do whatever I want to your copy of Crash
Wait,
Bash.
that's the one I had.
What?
What else is in there?
And bits of fluff.
I can only do whatever I want to it within
They just needed a fluffer before he gets by the game.
your specific parameters and conditions.
Very specific. Sounds like a challenge, actually. But, you know, to be fair, it is your copy, so I'll honor that.
And I think I know just what I would want me to do with it.
Oh! Someone's not happy. They know Crash Bash is in the building.
A CD case. It's got a CD in it, like an old PlayStation game. Oh yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Cheers. Have a nice day.
I hope you enjoy whatever I have, Royce. For legal reasons, I have to clarify that I did not send contaminated goods over to Royce. Everything was sanitized before it was shipped. I am not a bioterrorist. Please do not take legal action.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's what they all say.
P.S. My address will be on the back of this letter for when you send it back.
Everybody, dox Royce! Get your doxes here! Roll up, get your doxes here before Royce is dead!
Thanks again to
I'm
War
going
Thunder for
to your
sponsoring. Don't
house!
forget to play for free on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox now by using my link in the description. Bye!
Subscribe.
That was crazy. Wait, there might be after credits. 1 second.
Okay, someone is walking
Yes, I knew I pre-fired.
right this direction. I'm just gonna wait for them to walk past. It's not, you know, it's not even about caring how I look. It's about having to explain to people that they're not going to smell piss when they walk past me. That's the worst bit. I don't really care that how
It's
I
just a bit of pee-pee. Everybody pee-pees a little bit. A lot of bit. Do I look like him? I didn't pee my pants, though. I pooped them. Well, thank you so much for watching. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I'm going to say 2 hours and 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, the 5 people who got this far, leave a comment down below of your favorite fruit. Anyways, thank you. I hope you have a great evening. Remember, subscribe or like the video, and then if you want to use code Berry for checkout up and 10% off your Gamer Subs order, that also helps. Thank you. Bye, YouTube. Bye.